So we thought, how fun would it be to dig a hole in the ground, bury beer under there, let it sit all summer, and dig it up in the fall and drink it. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to our channel, your favorite place for all things beer. Today we're talking about a few of my favorite beers, the stories behind them, and some of the things that I think make them unique to us. Sometimes when I drink craft beer, I'm looking for something really unique in flavor or some unique component in that beer that stands out from a traditional lager or ale. And the ones we're going to talk about today all fit that category. Starting off, we have our strawberry blonde ale. When we first opened the brewery, we had a blonde ale that was just an easy drinking light ale, kind of to emulate a lager. And we thought it was pretty good, but it was a little bit boring. And my wife suggested that we add strawberry fruit puree to the beer, which is something at the time that I vehemently resisted and really didn't want to do, but we did it anyway, and it was instantly our top seller and has been our top seller for the last 8 years now. So next up we have our Lima Fresca, which is a salted lime Kolsch. A Kolsch is really just a light German style ale that is very clean, good base beer to add something like citrus fruit to. We add a lot of lime peel and juice to this beer to get a really fresh poppy lime flavor in there. And I like this beer in the summer when it's hot. It's very refreshing, easy drinking, and definitely easy to have more than one of. We chose the name Lima Fresca because when we first made this beer, it reminded us of agua frescas. Also, Lima Fresca means fresh lime in Spanish, and there's really not a more suitable name for this beer with all of the fresh lime that we put into it. About 120 pounds in every batch. Another really fun beer we have right now is our Lithuanian Farmhouse Ale. This is one where the base beer is pretty simple in terms of malt and hops, but the yeast is what's really interesting. It comes from a brewery called Jovaru in Lithuania that's been around for almost 200 years. And we rely heavily on this yeast strain to produce a really complex, interesting flavor profile that throws notes of things like lemon pith and black pepper. It's truly a unique beer and a unique flavor profile. One beer we've made that I'm really excited about is our Oktoberfest Lager. Let me explain a little bit more about this beer and why we made it the way we did. Oktoberfest originates from Germany's Oktoberfest, obviously, but what you may not know is before refrigeration, Germans would brew this beer in March, which is why it's also sometimes called Marzen. Marzen is German for March. And then they would store it in caves to keep it cool throughout the hot summer months. Once it started cooling off again in the fall, September or October, they would pull the beer back out of the caves, tap it, and throw a party, and this is the origins of Oktoberfest. So we thought, how fun would it be to dig a hole in the ground, bury beer under there, let it sit all summer, and dig it up in the fall and drink it? And that's exactly what we did. So this spring we made an Oktoberfest Lager and put it in a stainless steel firkin, which is basically a metal barrel that's very similar in shape and size to the wood barrels that they would have used in Germany. And then we buried it underground. We're gonna wait till the fall, throw a big Oktoberfest party, dig it up, and see how the beer turned out.
It's a good beer, and I will be back to drink some more of it.
Another really unique beer that we just made is this one. It's called Duplicity, and it's a barrel-aged barley wine. We made a high alcohol barley wine and stored it in 2 different oak barrels for a few months. One was a bourbon barrel and one was a wheat whiskey barrel. And after the aging process was done, we sampled those 2 barrels separately to get some tasting notes from each one. We found that the wheat whiskey barrel was very sweet and that the bourbon barrel was kind of hot or very alcoholic, lots of bourbon flavors coming through. But when we combined the 2 together in a 50-50 blend, it was perfect. So Duplicity is a blend of bourbon and wheat whiskey barrel-aged barley wine. It's a mouthful to say, but it's a very tasty beer. We also have a pilot program here we call Test Batch Thursday. This is where we're brewing a new beer every single Thursday. We've been doing this for a full year now. Every week we come out with something different. We're typically doing 5 or 10 gallon batches, so very small compared to what we have on our bigger system, and it's a lot of work. It's an 8-hour day whether you're brewing beer 5 gallons at a time or 500 gallons at a time. So Test Batch Thursday has definitely been a labor of love, and we do love it. It gives us a chance to experiment with new flavors, new ingredients, new techniques, and lots of new technology that's out there in the brewing and brewing ingredient world right now. This also is a great way to get good feedback and ideas from our customers and to try things out that they would like to see us do without having to make the full commitment of brewing it on a commercial scale. So those are just a few of the beers that I like and I'm really excited about here at Border Brewing. The next time you're at a local brewery, you can always just ask the bartender bartender what they're excited about. Oftentimes there's a new beer that the brewery's created that they're really excited about, and they'd be happy to tell you the whole story behind it. Subscribe to continue learning about all things beer.